want to give you guys an update what we've been working on yesterday and the last few days actually. So we want to just give you guys a recap so that way we want to involve you on the everyday stuff that's been going on the farm. We like to do big chunky videos, but every once in a while we think we would like to incorporate smaller day-to-day videos. So we want to just talk to you about what we've been working on. So I know the other day Paul worked on trimming the fence rows.
So we have a fence row that runs diagonally across our property. It basically starts out in the northeast corner and runs over to the southwest corner. And the fence seems like in the past that it was used to house some type of livestock, maybe sheep or goats or cattle of some kind. But along the fence row that runs diagonal, there's a lot of well-established trees. So what we've been doing is we've been clearing out and kind of making room and keeping what we do want along the fence row. Here in Kentucky, everything grows very quickly, so we actually have to pick and choose what we want to grow so things don't overcrowd each other. And the things that we do want do have a good opportunity to grow. There's a lot of vines that grow here that will grow up through the trees and just take over. They come up and they shade out the tree. There's actually a type of vine that actually strangles the tree, and it will become detrimental to the tree. So it seems like maybe the fence row has been let go for maybe 2 or 3, maybe longer years. So we're kind of having to go back through there and just clean that up and keep what we want. There are a lot of nice fruit trees. We found what seems to be a small peach tree in that it produces small peaches. Not a very large peach, but maybe just slightly bigger than a golf ball. So that's going to be neat in the spring when we see what pops up. There's also a couple trees that I believe that I've identified as apple trees. So we'll see what happens with those.
You know, the clearing of the fence row, it looks so much more pretty too. I love being able to stand by the workshop and look out, and you could just see, I like to call them my cows. They're the neighbor's cow and it's the neighbor's hill, but I love to call them my cow. I just made them my own. And so yesterday when he was trimming, I went and sat there with him. We were just enjoying the cow, enjoying the stream. And I even mentioned to Paul then, man, people go to the park for this. And here we are in our own yard, just enjoying this beautiful view. And too bad I can't capture the sounds of the birds. I've tried a couple times and we don't have really good mic, but the birds just sound so beautiful. And I'll just sit out there, and I should have been working, but I wasn't. So I'm really thankful that he's trimming it just for aesthetics. It just looks so much more beautiful. So I know that's one of the things that he was working on. Yesterday I was working on filming the RV. I'm trying to get a RV tour videos for you guys set up and a few other videos. Another one is the RV storage. I think it's really important just to know on how people that live in RVs store things, either if you're going to go on a trip or if you're planning on doing some kind of move like this, or just for ideas. Hey, who doesn't like different ways of storing, right? So I was working on RV tour videos yesterday and parts of the RV storage. So that's what I was working on. Paul worked long hours. He has actually the last few days working on the craft room, just trying to get that situated for me. And I'm so excited. There's been times that I've lost sleep over it. I'm just so enthusiastic. In our last house we had a multi-purpose room, and we had like the library, school room, computer room, craft room, all jumbled into one. And so Paul was really sweet. He offered a little spot for me in the workshop that we can build a craft room. And so he's been working on that. And so yesterday he did the primer and the painting. So we had been waiting on the drywall too, because here it's a lot more humid and there's a lot more moisture in the air, so stuff wasn't drying. So he put some fans out there to try to speed up that process. So yesterday I finally got to that point that he could paint, and so he did the last coat yesterday of the paint. And so today he's going to install some lights to see how things are looking, because the lighting in there is not very bright. So he's going to install the lights that are going to be there so we can get a better view if he needs to do another layer of paint. It's very white. I'm going to be blinded in there.
Yeah.
I do like the minimalistic and clean cut lines. And so I did go for white. The RV is white too, and that was one of the things that I noticed, that living in the RV, I was very hesitant on the white originally, but it makes such a big impact. Just the bright white, it makes it look bigger, cleaner. It is a little bit more work, but even on a darker wall, we would still clean the walls. So that wouldn't change. And so I knew for the craft room, I wanted bright white, and then add pops of color with different art. I would love to have some Van Gogh paintings, or even some Van Gogh inspired. I know Paul teased me and he's like, well, get on it, start painting. And so I've been looking at how to paint Van Gogh. We'll see how well that works off. I know the style of painting that he does is impression, so it's kind of up to the artist, but it's still very intimidating. I know my artwork will not be nearly as good as his, but I would love to paint my hills with the cows. So I've been like a paparazzi. The neighbors were watching me the other day and they're like, what are you doing? I'm over there by the fence row taking pictures of these cows and the hills and the shading. There's like yellows, and so I'm excited. My craft supplies are still buried, so that's the other thing that I'm excited about. I do have little storage areas in the RV that I have some art supplies, but the majority of it is inside the workshop in boxes. So I'm excited to take that out. And so that's something that I'm really looking forward to. So for today's plans, Paul plans on installing the lights in the workshop, the lights in the craft room. So like I said, he can get a better idea of if there needs to be another coat of paint. What else did you say you were going to work on today, my love?
So we'll probably go through the fence row again. Under the peach tree that we identified, we'd like to do some natural fertilizing, where we're going to take some of the leaves that we started to compost and we're going to put those down underneath the peach tree, and then we're going to take the cut branches from all of the other trees around that and we're going to stack that on the leaves so that the leaves don't just blow off down the hill, and that will give the peach tree some nutrients to hopefully produce some nice nice peaches this spring. Normally we would have liked to do this earlier. Something like this we'd probably want to be doing closer to the beginning of winter, so that over the entire winter these materials have a chance to break down. So we're going to be doing that. Working on fertilizing the trees along that fence row, and this is we call it fertilizing. It's a method known as chop and drop. So whenever you do tree pruning, you don't drag that off and haul it off to the dump. You actually take those materials that those plants have mined nutrients from the ground with for a while, and there's a lot of energy in the sunlight energy that they've created this natural fertilizer. So this all gets released back into the tree when you place it below the plant, and gives it a chance to break down and be released back into the soil. The way that it does in a forest. Nobody goes through the forest and actually drops ammonium phosphate or any of these other chemical fertilizers so that the forest grows naturally. When branches fall or a dead tree dies, or leaves are a huge fertilizer component cycle that goes on year after year in the forest. So we're just going to be mimicking that. We're going to do that while it's daylight and nice out right now. It's just slightly afternoon, so we're going to get out there. It's fairly warm. We're in the middle of February, but the high today is probably 50, and we've got some sun, and then it's supposed to be raining the next couple of days. But we're going to get out there today, and then as the sun goes down, it starts cooling off, getting a little too cold to be outside and too dark. Then we'll go inside and we'll start working on the craft room. and putting up the lights. We want to put up the lights to see what the paint looks like under the lights, to see if we need a second coat of paint. We may need a second coat of paint. Alright, so this is an example. I don't know if you can see this vine. This is a vine that actually grows up and starts to strangle the tree. Because what it does is it wants to get up into the light zone. So it starts growing up, and as it gets bigger and bigger, it grows right up into the tree. It starts constricting it. So we had to cut a bunch of this out. So it actually, when we came out to the tree the other day, we thought the leaves were starting to bud out and the leaves were starting to come out. But it was actually just that vine. So this is the actual tree here. There's the vine with all the leaves on it. So it's getting a head start on the plant, and it's shading it out, causing problems. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn it into a bio mulch. What they call we're doing what they call chop and drop. And these invasive plants will feed the tree that it was trying to kill. I don't think it was trying to. That's the plan.
Yep, and homeschool. We've been doing different forms of homeschool the last few days, more hands-on. I know Paul's been taking the kids out into the garden and showing them how to do the chop and drop and showing them how to prune and things like that. And also in the workshop, as Paul's been working on the craft room, he's also been showing them and teaching them on building and how to make sure things are square. We do actually have a video on that I'll leave a link to if you guys want to check it out. Just tips for the day that he shows the kids. So I want to do more sit down education, something I like to focus on, just to really sit down and have that time to study. So that's what I'll be working on later on today, other than editing this film.
That's it. We thank you for supporting the channel. We thank you for taking the time to watch these videos. Please like the channels. It's free for you to like them, and it helps us to grow the channel. And if you know anybody that you think might be interested in this content, please share it with them. Share it on your social media accounts. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Bye, guys.